the current story we hold in dominant culture about death isn't working. We're not meeting it well. About death and loss, the dying and the bereavement. And we have this narrative about what death is and how it works, and therefore how we should meet it. And the narrative isn't a very effective one. It's not a healing narrative. So sacred death care is about offering a different understanding about what death is, what bereavement is, what loss is, what the soul's journey is through that experience. We are story-based creatures. We meet the world through the stories we hold about the world. And the current story isn't working. With a new story, we have the possibility for new behaviors, new outcomes, new experiences. So sacred death care is really about offering a whole new story about what death is. And it's not really a new story, it's actually an old story, but it's not present in dominant culture. And it's a story based in nature-based spiritual understandings of death and loss, and that's really validated by modern consciousness research. And it says that the soul is real, the soul has validity, and the soul experiences have validity, and then they needed to be tended to. A modern hospital is not designed to support your soul. A modern hospital is like a mechanic shop for the body. It's designed to be efficient as a way of reconfiguring and treating what happens to your physical body. But when you're dying, when you're at any time you're ill and in a hospital, but particularly at death, it's not just about the body, because the body, you're leaving your body. The body is becoming less of who you are. It's as much about the soul. It's this experience of meaning. And the soul is about meaning and relationship and beauty. Right? And what we're saying goodbye to when we die, saying goodbye to the people we love, saying goodbye to our dreams, saying goodbye to life in a physical body, saying goodbye to the places, and also saying hello. Where are we going? Where is the soul's journey after death? And there are, every culture, every religious tradition has a different story for that. I don't think there's one right story, but finding a story that works and is a healing narrative about what happens. The Western story is, it's a light switch. You're here and then you're gone. It's over. And not only do you completely disappear, but you're completely, in a way, lost to the community. And what's the worst punishment we can do to someone? We can put them in solitary confinement. We can banish them, exile them, excommunicate, like separating from community. And so what we do at death is say, you're done. You don't exist anymore. You have no more relationship with us. It completely ends. And no wonder people are just so resistant about moving towards death, because what's the worst thing that can happen to us is being lost. And if instead we have a narrative, an understanding that says, we're here, we're in bodies. When we die, there's a kind of transition, and we end up somewhere. There's a community that continues. And in cultures who have a place for ancestors in their cultures, like a Day of the Dead, it says once a year, we'll remember you. You'll still be part of our community. You're not gone. But in Western culture, it's just gone. There's nothing. There's no space. Often when I work with clients after someone has died, and work with the family through the process, and then after the process, we think about what kind of rituals, and even before someone has died, we talk about these, what kind of rituals there might be for keeping that person in the family, to recognizing they're still part of it. So maybe at holiday dinners and birthday dinners, you set another plate that's for the ancestors. It's for all the ones who are dead, who have died, the dogs, the grandparents, everybody. And they're there, they're present. And they can all share one plate. They're agreeable like that. So there's a way to keep ancestors in the community rather than banishing them, because this story that we just disappear is not a healing story. It doesn't help us. And sometimes people ask me, though, like, how are you so sure this is true? You talk about the soul's journey, continuity of consciousness after death. How do you know that's true? And my response is, I don't know if it's true. I haven't died. I don't know, but neither has anybody else who's talking about it. So is it true? Is it not true? it's kind of 50-50. We don't know if it's true or not. And I would say it's a little more on the side of it's true because people have experiences. They have felt, sensory, palpable experiences of the dead. People have near-death experiences. But even if it's 50-50, in some ways I don't care if it's true because it's a healing story. And the Western story, the dominant story, that there's nothing, isn't a healing story. If this is a healing story, I'm happy to follow this story because we don't know if it's true or not. And that makes a huge difference to how we move through this process.